Okay, good morning, everybody. Hopefully you can hear and see me. I am Suzanne Westrom, CEO for PAAR, and I'm going to be joined today by Faye Humphrey, our president-elect, and Cassie Kratzer, our MLS director. And we're going to share a little bit with you about the Coming Soon policy, how we got there, what it is, how it works, and be available for any questions. I'll encourage you to put any questions in the Q&A box that you'll see at the bottom of your screen rather than the chat. That way we make sure we don't miss anything. Just let us know what any of those questions are. We'll have plenty of time for that at the end. So now I'm going to hand it over to Faye, our president-elect.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We are looking forward to you utilizing the Coming Soon policy. There was a lot of enthusiasm and energy around getting this set up and having it work smoothly for everyone. And as Suzanne said, any questions that you have, please make sure you put them in the bottom at the Q&A so that Cassie and or one of us can make sure that those get answered for you. So let's dig into this, and remember that Coming Soon is already there. We just want to make sure that we're using it properly so we don't any of us get into trouble, because Cassie's going to be watching us to make sure we've got this. So the Coming Soon, of course, was created to provide a way for listing brokers and agents to place a listing that's not ready to be active into the MLS. And you can do that for up to 30 days. And it, of course, might be necessary for a variety of reasons. If something's being staged or repairs are being made or listing photos, etc. As we are busier, a lot of those things don't happen as quickly as they once did. So those could be issues for us. And it, of course, came to be by coming out of the MLS committee, going to the board of directors from the MLS committee, and it was approved. And that's where we are today. And we want to be able to use it effectively for our clients and our brokerages. Days on market does not start until your listing goes active. So when it is incoming soon, the days don't start to accumulate. And remember, the maximum days that you can have coming soon is 30 days. And during the time that it's incoming soon, remember, this is the buildup. So there will be no showings by anyone to anyone. And let me give you an example really quickly. We were having a chat with someone yesterday, and a broker in town with another brokerage, nobody with my brokerage, shared that she got a call from a broker saying that they'd like to do a preview. Would she allow a preview on her Coming Soon? And she said no. And that was absolutely the correct answer. So there's no previews, no showings by anyone to anyone. So when you ask the question, the answer you should get is no, you can't do that. Or the listing agent should automatically go in, put the property active, and then let you show it or preview it. But then it can't go back to Coming Soon. So once it walks through the gate, there's no backing it up at that point. And remember that in Coming Soon, it's not going to be distributed through IDX or to any third-party real estate advertising sites. The listing brokerage is permitted to market as long as the marketing indicates that it's in the Coming Soon status. So again, hopefully we can build up the anticipation for someone seeing this new listing that you have, but they're not going to be able to get in to see it yet. Once the listing transitions from Coming Soon to active, as I said earlier, it cannot revert back to Coming Soon under the terms of the same listing agreement. Now, clearly, if you had it listed for whatever reason, something happened, it cancels or it expires, and then you come back and do it again, whole nother conversation. But under the same listing agreement, you can't go back to Coming Soon once you've advanced to active. One thing that is very important, and we haven't talked as much about as we should have, in my opinion, and hopefully everyone will get this today. In order to have it incoming soon, you must have written permission from the seller. And that, of course, you can get using the PAAR Coming Soon Seller Authorization Form. So we're telling you that these are the rules, and now we're giving you something you can utilize. And that will give you the opportunity when you're having the seller sign that to let them fully understand why we would be doing Coming Soon. And again, you know, we can't get the photographer in for a week or whatever it might be. And it gives them clear understanding that you're still working on their behalf, but we're keeping it the way it should be. Also, you can do Coming Soon on, we think about it most often on residential, but you certainly can do it on vacant land, commercial, industrial, multifamily, business opportunities, residential and commercial leases. But I do think we'll probably see it more in residential than we will in a lot of other arenas. But nonetheless, that's kind of the quick guide as to the rules as we should be following. Oh, there we go.
Thank you, Faye. I'll take over. So, and like you were saying, as far as the property types go, you know, most of them are going to be residential. I think so. We've had about 60 Coming Soon listings added so far since March 1st. And I think only 2 of them were vacant land and the rest were residential. But if you have a lease property that you are cleaning up, or, you know, multifamily that you're waiting on pictures, feel free to use the Coming Soon status. Like she said, any of these property types are allowed in the Coming Soon status. So the seller authorization form. So this is a big one. And I think whenever we first added the status, a lot of people jumped to adding their listing as Coming Soon without making sure that their sellers were informed and had this form signed. So, and you know, the big thing here too is to make sure that you're going over all of the options with your sellers when you're discussing this before signing this form. Is Coming Soon the right choice to go, or is maybe active or even office exclusive? So make sure that you're presenting all of those options before getting this form signed. Okay, so as far as photos, so as you probably know, we do have a requirement on the primary photo where it has to be of the exterior. So on Coming Soon listings, you know, a lot of times you're waiting on photos to be added before you want it to go active, and that's why you're using the status. So you don't have to add a photo until the listing is live. However, the system is still going to require a photo to be added. So PAAR has a Photos Coming Soon picture. It's kind of a stock picture that you can upload until your listing becomes active. But just make sure before the listing goes active that that primary picture is chosen on one of the exterior photos. So showings. So, and I know this might be a little bit different from some of the other MLSs surrounding us that do allow showings, but we do not. So, and no showings by anyone to anyone. So that means you as the listing agent, buyer's agent can't show it, and even the seller cannot show it. So, you know, as discussed before on the form, make sure that you're going over all of these options, letting them know that they cannot show it either, so that everyone understands that. And then, oh, sorry. And so if you do decide, if you get a call and someone wants to show the property and your seller has agreed to it, that's completely okay. Just make sure it goes active prior to the showing. Okay, marketing. So Coming Soon listings can be shared with, you know, clients and customers. Most of the times you guys are going to put up a for sale sign or post on social media about your listing. Just make sure when it's added on, either a sign is up or it's on social media, make sure that you disclose that the listing is coming soon. So for example, if you put a sign in the yard, make sure that it has the Coming Soon rider while it's in that status. And as far as marketing too, so it's not going to be distributed on brokerage websites through IDX or third-party sites such as realtor.com until the listing goes active. So how to add a coming soon listing. So it's going to be essentially the same thing as adding a normal listing. There's just a couple of new fields. So on the main fields tab, you'll add in the listing date, which is the date that the effective date of your listing contract. So I know a lot of people get confused on trying to add the listing date as the on market date. So that's the date that your listing becomes effective. So not the date that you want it to go active. That would be the on market date field. So as soon as you add in the listing date under status, you'll use the drop down menu to select coming soon. And then the on market date field will pop up. So in that field, whatever you add in there is going to be the date that the listing becomes active. So if I add in 3:30, my listing is going to go active at around 1:30 a.m. on 3:30. So whatever active date or on market date that you put in, so if it's 3:30 and you have no changes to that date, then it will automatically transition to active status. Now, if your sellers say that, or if they finish repairs early or pictures are done early and you want it to go active beforehand, you can go under the status section and there's going to be a little button that says start showing active. So you'll just click there and make the listing active before that original on market date. So best practices for coming soon. So I've gotten a couple of calls on the first one here. So making sure that you have a signed listing agreement. That's a big one. So coming soon is not for properties that you are waiting to sign the listing agreement on. You have to have a signed listing agreement. And with that, making sure that you comply with all Arizona laws and regulations. So for example, if you see a coming soon listing on the MLS and you want to advertise it to your social media following, making sure that you get permission in writing from the listing agent to do so. And then having a compelling reason to use the coming soon status. A compelling reason would be, like we said, repairs, waiting on photos, etc. Not a compelling reason would be, I get a listing and I don't want to add pictures because the market is so crazy right now and it will sell without pictures anyway. So I'm going to put in coming soon without pictures, hoping that I get a sight unseen offer and I don't have to put in much effort for this listing to sell. That is not a compelling reason. And then, of course, making sure that you're restricting showings and bids equally to all buyers. And overall, just making sure that you're acting in the best interest of your client. And Faye, I'll turn it over to you.
One thing that we really want to remember here is staying in compliance with our code of ethics. And when we're advising clients on whether or not to advertise the property is coming soon, we have to remember that we've got to promote and protect the interests of our clients. And that is present a true picture in their advertising, marketing, et cetera, and make the property available to other brokers for showing to prospective buyers when it's in the best interest of the sellers. And of course, failing to do so is going to harm our reputation as well as that of all realtors. And the thing that needs to be always your guiding light is what is best for my seller. What is best for my seller? Not what's best for me, but what is best for my seller. And sometimes that can be hard to do. And it's not that we're purposely trying to damage anybody, I don't think, but sometimes we can get caught up in the enthusiasm of it when all of a sudden we've got somebody knocking on our door going, I really want to see 123 South Mulberry Street. And there you go. So I just want to make sure that we're all kind of paying attention to what's best and following the code of ethics. And remember, code of ethics is we always have to take care of our client's interest above all else. Any questions? And because we are on a webinar, of course, we don't have all of you all when you've got the ability to just kind of pop in and talk, but put those questions down there for us. And Suzanne, do we have any of those?
We don't have any yet. We'll give them a minute or two to type them in if you have any questions. I'll take a moment too to remind you if you ever want a presentation to your office, Cassie is available for that too. So feel free, she's done that quite a bit. If you want to have a presentation tailored just for your office, just reach out to us and let us know, and we can schedule that too. So don't see anything in the chat or the questions yet, but we can give it another minute.
Okay.
A couple of minutes in case people are typing.
And just a reminder that we have a coming soon status. We've explained to you the rules for doing that. And remember that not every MLS that surrounds us, abuts us, if you are members of others, you need to be particularly diligent in making sure that you know what the rules are for those MLSs, because they do indeed have different rules and regulations as to ours.
Yes, great reminder. Let's see, we've got a couple of questions now. So the first one is, do you need to sign a status change form when changing to coming soon date?
So on the status change form, so it's going to be up to your broker whether the original authorization form you want to mark out the date and have them initial, or have something in writing via email, or another you know, just a general email about changing it. I would speak to your broker on what they think is best there. Faye, do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, I think that many brokers will say to you that they want that written authorization form. That again, it is a form that you can get from PAAR that indicates that it's going in whatever status. In this case, we're talking about the coming soon status. And in my brokerage, we don't need to adjust anything when we've got that written instruction. So that's what's going to be there. And then it says that we will put it active, of course, once the pictures are taken or whatever it is we're waiting for. And in that case, in my brokerage, we're going to just simply require something from the seller that acknowledges that on this date, it is going active. So we got all the pictures in today and got them uploaded. So now we're going to make it active and live as an active listing tomorrow. And I just want a confirmation that the seller now understands that, because we told them we were going to be coming soon for up to 30 days. And now we have everything accomplished. But I don't particularly require the separate form to be signed for that, but that will be a broker decision. And you will all want to chat with your prospective brokers about it.
And I'll make another comment on that too. So if you do decide to bring the listing active before the original on market date, just note that people can pre-schedule showing appointments for after the on market date. So if you have 6 people lined up for showings on the 30th and you decide to go active on the 17th, I would make sure that you're calling those other agents that have those showings scheduled to let them know that it's going active beforehand.
That's a great point, Cassie. Thank you for that.
Another quick question we've got on here, where do we get the coming soon rider for the signs? We actually sell those here in our store at PAAR in both red and blue. So please stop by and see us, and you can pick those up and purchase those from our store. Next question we've got. What happens if the seller shows it and we don't know it, but get an offer after that showing?
So, like I said, whenever I talked about the authorization form, having that conversation before your sellers sign that form is crucial. They need to know that if they show it, it's not just you and it's not just the buyer's agent. You know, if they show it, you're still in violation of our rules. So just make sure you're having that conversation before the form gets signed.
Okay, next question. Is it okay to use the MLS sheet with initials and date on top showing new active status?
Like on the, are we talking about the seller authorization form, like the coming soon form?
If the person who typed that question wants to add on to that, let's see, she says no.
She said no.
Did you have anything further to add to that?
She said the
Listing sheet.
So the listing input sheet, I assume, is what we're talking about. Yes, I do believe that there is a place for on market date on there. So like we said, if it needs to be changed for whatever reason, talk to your broker and see what they suggest. I would always suggest getting everything in writing. So if you cross it off on one sheet, I'd probably do it on the input sheet as well. But talk to your broker just to be sure.
Okay, this one says no lockbox until active.
Well, what was it? I'm sorry.
Is there no lockbox until active?
You can put a lockbox on beforehand. That's up to you, but just no showings beforehand or before it goes active.
How does it work with showing time to schedule once listed?
So showing time is set up to automatically block off all dates before the on-market date. So if my listing has an on-market date of the 30th, then any buyer's agent can go in and schedule a showing for the 30th and after.
If the seller does not want the property to be coming soon, but they want to sign a listing, please explain office exclusive.
So like I kind of mentioned in the beginning, you've really got three options after you get the listing agreement signed. You've got active status, coming soon status, or office exclusive. An office exclusive was really meant at the beginning to be as a way for sellers who did not want their property on the MLS to have a way to cooperate. And usually that's because of like privacy reasons. You've got like a divorce situation or a high profile client who doesn't want the whole world to know that their house is going for sale. That would be a good option. Or another way to use that is if you know that the listing is going to take, if you've got like repairs being done, it's going to take longer than 30 days, and you know that off the bat, then you can keep it as office exclusive. And what that is essentially it stays within your office and your office only. So it does not go out to the public or to agents of any other office. Hopefully that answers your question.
Okay, that's all the questions I have so far. We can give another minute, see if anyone else has any follow-ups or anything. You put them in the Q&A box or in the chat. Let us know if you've got any other questions. We'll let you know. Cassie, you want to tell them your email address if they want to contact you?
Yes, it's Cassie. It's KASI at PAAR.org.
So you can always reach out to Cassie or anyone here on staff who can direct you to Cassie to help you with any additional questions. Or like I said, if you want to schedule Cassie to speak at any of your meetings, you know, she's obviously happy to help with that. We do have a site on our page on our website right now. It's just PAAR.org/coming soon. That has a lot of this great information on there. There is a FAQ on there. There's screenshots and how-tos of how to input listings and make changes to the listing and coming soon. There's a tutorial video on there. You can also find the seller authorization form on that page. So lots of great information. And we will put the recording of this webinar as well on there if you have anyone who missed it and that you want to share it with. Okay, another question we've got. So the listing does not go into IDX, but it goes out to all PAAR members.
That's correct. Yes.
Yeah.
But it's not in IDX, that really just means brokerage websites. So Faye, I'm sure you have an office website where you have all of PAAR's listings added on there. So it wouldn't show up on her website, but it would show up on the MLS for everyone to see. And Zillow, it actually has an IDX feed, so it would not show up on Zillow.
I'm just putting your email in the chat in case anybody didn't catch that. Okay. Any other questions? Or anything else that Cassie or Faye wanted to add before we close out?
I would just say if you're stuck and you're not sure which status to go with, or, you know, in just any time that you're second guessing anything, like that's what PAAR is here for. So call us, email, we're always happy to help.
Yes, stop by, check out our store, check out the writers for your signs, and staff, of course, is always here to help you, or you can email us as well and get answers to your questions. So, and if you think of anything that we should add to our FAQs or to our resource site, we want to hear that too. You know, after you've been using the form and the status a little bit, and you think there's something that would benefit all agents to know about that you've learned, please let us know so we can share that with everyone as well.
And just a reminder that one of your best resources should also be your own broker or brokers in your brokerage. Some of them are going to have very specific ways that you'll use some of this. So don't hesitate to go talk to the folks at your own office as it relates to this, because there will be some differences as to how brokerages wish to handle some of these things. And I'm going to just do a little spotlight on Cassie. She's great. She does a lot of wonderful things for us. But remember that it is not her job to complete contracts for us. And you need to seek your own broker's counsel as it relates to some of that.
Great reminders. Thank you. Okay, well, we'll make these slides available as well to those of you who attended today, and let you know the recording will be available probably within the next day or so, and we can let you know that too. So as we said, please reach out to your broker, of course, reach out to us for anything we can help you with, and we're always here and ready to assist you with whatever you need. So thank you all for attending, and we'll go ahead and close it up.
Thanks, everyone.